All right, hello my fabulous 4th grade students. We are working on GSC 4.NBT.3, Georgia Standards of Excellence. 4 stands for 4th grade, that's you. NBT stands for Numbers and Operations in Base 10, and the 3 represents the 3rd standard in this domain. This standard reads, remember, you do not have to write this down because it's already in your unit plan. Use place value understanding to round multi-digit whole numbers to any place value. Use place value understanding and properties of operations to perform multi-digit arithmetic. You will be able to, at the end of this video, use your understanding of place value to round to the nearest 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000. 2, use a number line, which is a strategy that we will use, and a hundreds chart to round numbers. And 3, you're going to use your understanding of place value to round to any place, with using one of these strategies. And also, it's not on here, but another one that you will be using is a T-chart. And this is also another strategy. Okay? So I just added that in. It's already in the flip chart, so I'm going to go ahead and resume with it, and then we can get more in detail into this standard and really unpack it, okay? All right, moving on. Now, we're going to work with the number line strategy first. So rounding whole numbers. Mind you, we are working with whole numbers. So you can pause and copy down this portion right here. I'm going a little too far. There we go. All right. Rounding whole numbers. To round means to find estimates, not exact values. When you hear the word round, or in a word problem, you might come across a word like about. Words like around and about, round and about, those words are indicating that you need to estimate. They do not want the exact value. So you may have a problem saying, let's see right here, this example. A bus is carrying 28 passengers, okay? 28 rounded to the nearest 10. They're telling you what place value to round it to. So you have to understand and know your place values like the back of your hand. What's that? It's a joke. I don't know if you guys got it. When someone says, I know this at the back of my hand, and look and say, oh my gosh, what is that? It's a joke. It may go over your head. I don't know. It's a joke. Let's move on. All right. So a bus is carrying 28 passengers. 28 rounded to the nearest 10. They're telling us round 28 to the nearest 10. So let's go ahead and write that number 28 a little bit larger to the side so you guys can see it. Now they said rounded to the nearest 10. All right. So that's the ones place. The value of this 8 is 8. And then the value of this 2 is 20 because it's in the tens place. That's the place value they want us to round 28 to, the nearest tens. So, 28. The bus is carrying about how many passengers? That's what we want to know. How many passengers? So we're going to use our number line to determine if 28 rounded to the nearest 10, is it closer to 20 or is it closer to 30? All right? So 28 is between 2 base 10 numbers. 20 and 30. The halfway mark between 20 and 30 is, you guessed it, 25. So here we're going to put 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30. So we're going to locate on our number line the number 28, which is right here. So I'm going to put a nice red dot right there to say, hey, girl, look at that. 28 is right there on the number line. Now, here's our halfway mark. You know, 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, it goes this way, let it rest. But see, 28, the 8 and 28 is closer to 30. So we're just going to round 28 up to this person right here, to 30, because it's closer to the whole number 30. So 28 round to the nearest 10 is 30. So the bus is carrying about, that means it's an estimate, because we rounded it, it's carrying about 30 people. So you can use the word about to tell that a number has been rounded. The word about in a problem also tells you to find a rounded number, okay? So pause the video if you need to, copy down the rest of this, or you can also copy down just the number line and the things that I have placed on the number line, okay? And we can move on. That's my phone, so ignore that. All right, now we have another example. Example number 1. And we are still using the number line strategy. Example number 1 says, Brian has 287 rocks in his collection. What is 287 rounded to the nearest 10? They still want us to round 287 to the nearest 10. So we're using our understanding, our knowledge of place value. Our 7 is in the ones, and our 8, that is in the tens place value. So right here, we're going to write tens, because they told us to round 287 to the nearest tens. So here, I underline tens as my place value, and then we use a different color. This number right here is kind of leading into our next strategy, which is underline and circle. But we're still going to do this just to give us a notation of what we're going to be getting into next. So our step 1 in identifying what 287 is rounded to after the nearest 10 is to identify the digit in the tens place. We did that. The digit in the tens place is the 8. The value of this 8 is 80. Because 8 times 10, why are we multiplying 8 by 10? Because 8 is in the tens place. So the value of this 8 is 80. Step 2, locate 280 and 290 on a number line. You're probably saying, Ms. Davis, why are we locating 280 and 290? Well, because 287 falls in between those two whole numbers, 280 and 290. Our halfway mark is 285. So I'm going to kind of stagger my number so I have more room because it's a 3-digit. So I'm going to write 281, 282, 283, 284, 285, 286, 287, 288, 289. If you need to pause and copy down all of this, by all means, do so now. And we're going to move on to step 3 and step 4. All right, so step 3. You're going to locate So you're going to locate 287 on the number line, which is right here. So we're going to place a big dot right there. Now, remember the whole saying, the riddle we have. 5 or more, raise a score. 4 or less, let it rest. So this is our halfway mark. So anything behind our halfway mark is going to be closer to this value. Anything in front of our halfway mark is going to be closer to this value. So we have 285, our halfway mark, between 280 and 290. 287, is it closer to 280 or is it closer to 290? This is what leads to step 4. Find which you're going to find which value your number is closest to. So 290, my solution is going to be 287 rounded to the nearest 10 is 290. And that's your answer. So pause the video, copy this down in your notes if you need to. I suggest that you do that. And let's move on. Now we're going to use a T-chart strategy. Remember I added that at the very first slide at the beginning of the video? The T-chart strategy. So we're going to round this to the nearest hundreds. On my T-chart I have on one side, the left side, the exact amount. And then on the right side, the estimated amount. And we're going to fill this in. I am going to do this one, and then you guys are going to do this one by yourself. I'm going to round this to the nearest 100s. You guys are going to round this to the nearest 10s. So pause the video and copy this down. Everything. All right, we have 681. They want us to round it to the nearest hundreds. Now remember I did the whole underlining and then circling what's behind it. We're going to do that again. Underline and then circle. If they want us, wrong one. They want us to round to the nearest hundreds. So that place value they want me to round to, I'm going to underline it and then circle the place value behind it. Same thing right here. They want me to round 291 to the nearest hundreds. I'm going to underline the 2 and then I'm going to circle the 9, which is the place value behind it. So they want me to round to the nearest hundreds. I have the 6 and the 2. So 681. 8 is more than 5. So because 8 is more than 5, I'm going to round 6 up to the nearest hundreds. The next number after 6 is 7. Now we're subtracting, so let me put my subtraction sign right here. 291. Well, 9 is really more than 5. So 5 or more, raise the score of this 2. So this 2 is now going to become a 3 for 300. So 700 minus 300 is 400. Now to find the exact amount, 1 minus 1 is 0. Hope you don't mind if I erase this right here so you can see me. Can you take 9 from 8? No, you cannot. So I need to borrow 1 from the 6. That 6 becomes a 5. This 8 now becomes 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. 5 minus 2 is 3. So I have 390. I'm going to check by adding 291 plus 390. So and to know that I got my answer, my difference right here, I have to get this as my sum, okay? And that's how I'm checking it. 0 plus 1 is 1, 9 plus 9 is 18, 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So I got 681, 681, so check. So that difference is correct. And 390, if I round 390 to the nearest hundreds, and I do the underline and circle, I will see that 3 would need to be rounded to 400. So all of that makes sense and it checks out. Yay! Moving on. I'm all about changing my pen colors, I don't know why. So now you have to round this to the nearest tens. So you guys, if you haven't done so already, pause the video, go ahead and round this to the nearest tens. Remember, find the place value they're asking you to round to. If they tell you to round to the nearest tens, you're going to find the place, which number is in the place value of tens and the first number, and then what number is in the place value of the tens and the second number. So we have 353. Well, 3 is less than 5, so this 5 is going to stay the same. So we're going to let it rest. That translates to 350. And we're adding, so do not forget to put your addition sign. 89. Well, 9 is more than 5, so 5 or more raise the score. This 8 now becomes a 9 because that circled number is more than 5. So now we're going to add this up together. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 5, 14. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we rounded to the nearest 10. Now let's go ahead and add the exact amount up. So let me erase this so you guys can see everything. 9 plus 3 is 12. 8 plus 5 plus 1 is 14. 3 plus 1 is 4. 442 is the sum of my exact amount, and then 440 is the sum of my estimate. Over here, 390 is the difference of my exact amount, and then 400 is the difference of my estimation. Hope you guys did well. I know you guys did well because you're awesome and you pay attention. And then right here, that strategy I was just using on the T-chart, you can also use that without the T-chart. If you want to copy this down, by all means you can do so, but I want you guys to do these two by yourself. So pause the video now, and then once you get done working on this, I will have the answers right here for you. Alright, so once you have worked it out, you should have this as your answer. 98,251 rounded to the nearest hundreds is 98,300. And then 142,859 rounded to the nearest 10,000s. The 4's in the 10,000s place. That will give us 140,000. So let's recap. We just went over GSC, Georgia Standard of Excellence. 4th grade, NBT, numbers, operations, and base 10, 3rd standard within this domain. If you have any questions, do not forget to use Davis Direct. Hit me up if you have any type of issues with the Learn Zillion videos and also with watching this video. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.